Hi everyone, welcome to or back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we'll be coloring in this beautiful new book from Johanna Basford called Magical Worlds. I've had a lot of requests asking how I colored this page and what colors I used, so I thought I'd share a bit of my process with you. I'll walk you through a part of the page and hopefully it'll give you some ideas so you can finish the rest on your own. For this page, I decided to stick with just colored pencils, so no watercolors or water-based markers this time, like I sometimes use in other videos. I'm starting by placing all the reflective lights. So on the bottom right, I want it to look like the tree is lit up with a cobalt green color, and on the top, I'm adding some orange. This is all coming from my imagination. I'm not really following any specific rules. The only thing I'm keeping in mind is that it tends to look better, well, I mean in this case, at least for me, when warm colors are at the top and cool colors are at the bottom. But again, this is purely a subjective thingy. That's why there's orange on top and cobalt green at the bottom. To avoid the colors mixing too much and becoming muddy, I'm adding pink to the areas where I want it to stand out before going in with our main color, the mossy green. And to create even more contrast, I'm also adding a cooler green, like apple green for extra interest. Once all the colors are in place, it's time for us to keep layering and blend everything together. You'll see me using a dark burgundy color to intensify the shadows instead of a darker green. I know it might sound a bit odd at first, but here's why it works so well. Moss green has those earthy muted yellow and green tones, right? And burgundy with its deep red and purple is basically on the opposite side of the color wheel from green. So when you add it as a shadow, it gives this amazing contrast that's way more interesting than just a darker green would be. Plus, burgundy adds a bit of warmth and depth to the shadows, which is perfect if you're going for that natural earthy look, which again is perfect for coloring a tree. It really makes those shaded areas even darker and adds a lot of richness. I would say give it a try and hopefully you'll see how much it transforms your greens. Moving on to the tree trunk, I'll be using many of the same colors to keep the coloring cohesive. And of course, I'll add some brown shades to make it look like a tree trunk. We want to mimic the texture of a tree trunk with lots of dents and crevices. So by adding some shadows here and there, we can create the illusion of unevenness. Since the trunk is quite slim and small, just a few shadows in the right places will do the trick. The final step for our tree is adding highlights to create even more contrast. I really like the look of adding white highlights, but sometimes they can be a bit too bright. If you ever think, oh my gosh, this is too much, you can always go over it with a pencil to tone down the color. This next part includes coloring all the houses. I'm starting with the main focal point, which for me is the house in the middle. I want it to be bold, bright and stand out, so that's why I'm using lighter colors for it. For the other houses, I'll stick to more toned down or darker colors. This helps the middle house stand out even more. And that's a little tip I can share with you. When coloring houses, you can really get creative with the texture you want to give them. For example, is it a wooden cottage with visible grain or a smooth plastered wall? Adding tiny lines or patterns can give it more character. For these houses, I kept it simple because they're so small that might have been too much. That's why I colored them to look like plastered walls. I did add some dots and lines to the roof of the house on the right though, because I had a bit more space there to add details like this. To make the windows look like there's light shining from inside, I added some orange to a few of them. I alternate between adding orange and leaving some with a bluish tone. Adding white highlights makes the windows look shiny and reflective. When I started this page, I wanted it to feel warm and inviting, so I went for these earthy tones. Here in Belgium we're halfway into autumn and it feels like the perfect time to color trees and foliage. I like this season because I get to play with so many warm tones. Red, oranges and yellows always make me happy. If you're liking this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more cozy coloring content. Let me know in the comments if you try these colors or if you've ever done something completely out of your comfort zone in your own colorings. For the leaves, I wanted to try something different. Normally I'd go for green shades, sometimes warm greens, other times cooler greens, but after coloring so many leaves in different books and always grabbing the same color combinations for it, I thought, why not switch it up? If I'm already using unrealistic colors for other things, why not for leaves too, right? So I went with a mix of orange, pink, cobalt green and moss green, and I think they turned out so cute. To make them look even lighter, I outlined the black lines with a white gel pen. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this page came together and maybe even picked up some ideas for your own coloring. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!